Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Jens is here with us from Zanzibar, and we will wait 5 more minutes for everybody to join, and then we'll start. מייק, מה קורה?
אבל אני גם לא אוכל, אני אוכל כמו נוח.
What's up?
האמת אין, אבל אין כמו הגבינה.
יש 17. גל, מה קורה?
בסדר גמור, עייף,
Long time no seen.
לחלוטין,
וואו, בונה, אתה אחי, רזית, אלוהים אדירים.
תודה.
בונה, לא זיהיתי אותך.
לא, העליתי עוד קצת, אני צריך להוריד עוד כמה.
הפסיק לשתות וויסקי.
ממש לא.
מי?
אלכסנדר?
חברים, בינתיים תכינו את כל השארים שלכם, אתם יודעים את המספרים של הכל?
רשום עליהם, אחי.
לא, בסדר, כאילו, אתם יודעים מה כל דבר, יש כאלה שיצאו בלי תוויות, אתם יודעים מה כל דבר?
רשום עליהם.
רשום עליהם וויסקי, נו.
ג'יי.בי אדום, לא?
שתן של עומר.
תראו את האבא הטרי.
Very young tasty.
ככה תותי וויסקי.
We're talking right now in Hebrew and welcoming everybody, so...
Yeah, I see. So, some visitors are very young.
Born on Sunday.
חשבתי שזו דלת חורקת, לא הבנתי שזה תינוק.
דיוויד, איזה בית שהוא?
רק שני.
מה המצב?
עייפים.
So, as of now, with 21 participants. Zev, what's up? Scotland, with the flag behind you.
21 and a half, Asaf. And a half.
21 and a half, okay. מני, מה המצב? בלב, גם אתה שם.
מה קורה, אסף?
יאללה, פתחו מצלמות.
21 and a half, okay.
22 and a half. נו, יאללה.
אלכס, זה הזמן לנקות את המצלמה שלך. נתחיל לראות אותך קצת יותר טוב.
לא צריך.
לא, זה מרוב עדים, אתה לא רואה את הוויסקי.
נמזוג לעצמנו כבר את הדרם הראשון. So, I think we can start. We're 8:30. And South Coast Whisky Society wants to welcome Jens Drewitz.
Called Drewitz.
Drewitz, okay.
Drewitz. Very difficult German name.
Okay. We're here in Zanzibar masterclass with the founder and of Zanzibar. He's the one that choosing the casks. He's the one that choosing when to bottle all the casks. He's the one that's responsible for all the things that you're drinking right now. We'll give you the stage right now and do your introduction.
Yes. So thank you very much, Yves. Hopefully everybody can understand my English. I will try to speak my best. Yeah, my name is Jens Drewitz, and I'm the owner and the founder of Sansibar Whiskey. That means Sansibar is a very famous restaurant in Germany, in the northern part of Germany, with an excellent wine cellar, but they don't have good whiskeys and rum. And so we joined in 2011, so 13 years ago. And I'm doing the selection for this restaurant and even for this brand, for all the whiskeys, rum, and sometimes now also cognac. But I'm not a big cognac fan, so I keep more on staying on whiskey. By myself, I started drinking whiskey in 1995, so a long time ago. And I'm coming from the drinking market. That means I was a connoisseur and going into business 20 years later when I met Carsten Ehrlich, where he's the founder of Whiskey Agency. And we are very good friends. And I was more in searching bottles and rarities, and he was in selecting casks. And in 2008, he starts teaching me to select casks and what about qualities, wood, age, adding water, and everything of this.
Okay.
2011, we started with Sansibar Whiskey. In the meantime, Sansibar Whiskey is also working as an importer for different brands like North Star, Spirits. We also, can you hear me? Or it's because I have some noises.
Guys, please mute yourself.
אדי,
Mute yourself,
תשתיק את
please.
עצמך.
1 second. We are asking everybody to keep quiet.
Good
We
evening.
have children situation.
Question, would you like us to pour the whiskeys into glasses now or wait?
Well, you can start with the first one. Now, I just will talk about the whiskey and maybe a little bit more about the history. So after releasing the first cask, meanwhile, we have bottled about 800 casks. We are also supplying different brands, and we are importing brands and doing joint bottlings with companies like Shinanoya in Japan or Spirits in Taiwan. This was our first partner in 2013. And we're also doing the exclusive imports of North Star from Scotland, from Milroy's of Scotland, Button from Sweden, Hidden Spirits from Italy. So that means the network was growing very fast, and now we are playing globally with all these different companies. Yeah, so, but at least I'm still a whiskey lover. So that means I have really an experience in tasting whiskey, choosing bottles and casks. And in the beginning, I start writing my notes, but after filling 2 books, I stopped writing because I was counting, and at least I have more tasted than more. Hi, buon appetito. I have tasted more than 8,000 whiskeys in the meantime. So that means if I will writing tasting notes, I will not find time to search casks and selecting casks. We have chosen 5 different whiskeys for today. Every design is different and every cask is different, so it will be quite an experience to taste these all different whiskeys. Okay, and whenever you have questions, you can ask me. Unfortunately, I'm not able to drink whiskey with you today because I had to put some medicine. I had a really bad car accident some weeks ago, and I still have some neck pain, and I'm taking some medicine, and the doctor says I'm not allowed to drink whiskey this week. So yeah, I'm staying with Coca-Cola or water. Yeah, Eve, I don't know many parts about the Israeli whiskey market. I have a good friend. He was visiting the M&H distillery in Israel last year, but and I know the guys from this distillery, but I don't know nothing else from the whiskey market in Israel. Maybe you can.
We're waiting for you to come, Jens. Once you feel a bit better and the situation here is a little bit more, I would say, peaceful, we're welcoming you to come and visit us.
Yeah, there's still a good whiskey festival, I think.
In September, yes.
In September.
Yes, Whiskey Live.
Whiskey Live.
The Whiskey Live. Okay.
Yes.
What date? Is it this year?
25, 26.
Huh?
25, 26. Okay.
25,
Yes.
26. So that would be matching better. I think last year was about over 19. Huh? The 19th.
It could be.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
because over the 19th, I'm not allowed to go anywhere because it's our marrying day. And after 25 years, I'm not allowed to miss this day. Otherwise, I will bring my wife with me, but she's not drinking whiskey, so you have to at least to have some good wines.
Only
About to
25
be
years.
home as well.
You're
It's a
still
good
newly
time to
married.
start.
You're
Yeah.
about to
If
be
she's
home
not
as
drinking,
well,
that means
also,
she
right?
can drive.
It's if you talk more than 2-3 people,
Yeah.
I can't understand you because the quality then is very bad from Zoom. So yeah.
I said only 25 years. You're newly married.
Only 25 years? What about my marrying?
That means you're still newly married.
You?
New married.
New married.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like new. I love my wife, so she's quite pretty. So you can't see the 25 years instead of me. I'm getting old.
Have you ever bought something from Milk and Honey or anything from Israel?
No, milk and honey, not yet. We get offered some casks, but honestly, I didn't find whiskeys in the portfolio that will be missing, that will be matching with my property of whiskeys. So I'm looking for the really easy drinking normally whiskeys. It means not a matter of age, but milk and honey is quite too young.
Intense?
Yeah, too intense and too young. It's same with many of German distilleries. So we haven't chosen a German whiskey for bottling because I think the quality is not good enough for these young ones.
You're talking about Sleer? What's the name of the German?
Oh, Sleers. Yeah. Awful.
Awful, really.
Yeah.
I have an Oktoberfest bottle from Sleer's, which is aged in beer from Oktoberfest bottles.
Yeah.
I'll try it soon and send you my notes.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the choosing of whiskeys of Sansibar selection is quite easy. It has to fit my taste. That means if you're choosing whiskeys for a restaurant, you have to choose whiskey for people they maybe never had tried a whiskey before. So if you go into the more experiential whiskeys, where you have to work with water and letting them breathe and choosing glasses, this is not working in the restaurant because the people, they easily want to drink after having some beers or having lunch or dinner or going back from the beach. So they don't like experiences. Must be tasteful, so they will choose fruity, peaty, sweet. That's it normally. So this is why we're developing the single cask bottling also for other companies like the Finest Whiskey Shop, like Shinanoya, like Casa de Vinos in Australia. So always different casks, different tastes, different qualities, but mainly we are in the drinkable whiskey scene. But at least, yeah, the markets are changing and it's very hard these days to find more aged and really good, tasteful whiskeys for reasonable prices. This is what the Scottish are doing wrong, in my opinion. And yeah, let's see what's coming up from Japan or even from Taiwan. They're making also very good whiskeys, or milk and honey maybe in a few years. And then they will have a big competition, the Scottish ones, I think.
What do you think about Taiwan whiskey, about Kavalan, let's say?
Kavalan is, at least they have the best wood managing for casks because they put in a lot of money and they have really experience. But at least you have to taste every single cask whiskey from Kavalan because some are shit and some are excellent. So it's very experienced smell. But it is chosen for the weather because they have really high climates. They are very sunny, high temperatures. So the wood is working very fast. And sometimes I think they missed the correct point to put the whiskey out of the cask.
Exactly what I think. I think they usually use very active barrels and casks, and sometimes they miss the point of being drinkable to too sweet and too strong and too powerful with the sherry cask or with the bourbon cask, which makes it more bourbon than a whiskey for me, or more sherry than a whiskey for me.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this assumption?
Absolutely. This is my experience with them.
Mhm.
So I was starting tasting Kavalan in 2012. So I know the first cask of them also. And in the beginning, they were much more smaller and they have a better quality check about their casks. But now they're growing so fast and so big and they cannot step up this quality.
I totally agree with you.
There's also another distillery called Omar in Taiwan. I think my personally choice, they're making the better whiskeys. They are smaller, but it's very hard to get casks of them. So for us,
So I'll say a remark in Hebrew so everybody will know. Omar is imported by בנה משקאות, חברים. עומר מיובא על ידי בנה משקאות ויש אותם בדרך כלל, תצליחו להשיג את הבקבוקים שלהם בבנה. So what I was saying is that Omar is imported by a company in Israel, a chain of whiskey shops that called בנה משקאות in Israel. So they have this brand here in Israel. They don't have many expressions.
No, they are small.
Yeah.
Okay. If we're talking about Taiwan, what about drinking the first whiskey? Because it's fitting to the scene. This one we have chosen here is a joint bottling. That means with the company is called Spirit Shop Selection. This is the company of my friend Eric Huang. Eric Huang is the guy who owns all the Karizawa casks. And I met Eric in 2012, first time. And he was looking for some old bottles and wants to stock up his whiskeys. So we get in touch and I helped him to get some bottles from Europe. And then I was invited to Taiwan and he says, okay, if you want, we can share a cask of Karizawa, what we have done with the Fascino artist. So we get in touch and he says, okay, let's do some joint bottlings for the Taiwanese market. And I was selecting the cask and they're doing their own label design. So this is why we have on these joint bottlings, these Asia style labels, not very common in the German market for the beginning, but now the people understand that is Scottish whiskey searched by us for the Taiwanese market. And after 10 years, it's a very good brand. This cask we have today, it's a 2008, 14-year-old called Secret Highland. So the Scottish are coming up more and more to sell casks without the allowance to use the distillery name. Sometimes they even don't know what's inside, so you can only get it by taste. This is one of these casks because we found it when we bottled them that the whiskey inside is slightly older than the 14 years old. But I think the Scottish, they were changing just the sticker on the casks because they don't know what's inside. And we found some marks that says that the whiskey is up to 20 to 22 years old. But I think you can also have it in the taste, especially in the aftertaste. So it has a quite dry but long aftertaste. For my taste or for our selection, I think it's the Glengarry distillery. from a sherry butt, 593 bottles. And the original cask strength was 44.7. So that means we do nothing with a ABV. It was like it is. And that means this whiskey should be older than the 14-year-old ones. So it's maybe cask re-racking some years ago, but we don't have any idea about the history. Never mind, we have chosen it because we think the taste is quite good for this parameters of young whiskey.
Jens, may I ask you a question? Is this a sister cask of the one that we're drinking now?
Yeah, we had different ones. How much is the ABV of this one?
44.9. And the other one?
44.9. Yeah, this
Yes.
was the sister cask. So that means we've bought 6 or 7 different casks of this style. All tastes are different. So you can taste them head to head. You will see that they are different. Yeah. And we put it just for different markets in different series. This label you showed me, this is made
for finest whiskey.
Yeah, for finest whiskey in Berlin. Normally we are painting the distillery on it.
Yes.
Of this series, because later when we have the Kleinlich and the Bowmore, we'll paint the distilleries, but we are not sure if this distillery Glengarry is inside. For my taste, it is, but there's no mention and no records. It says it's Glengarry Distillery. But you can see if you buy these casks and they're coming along, there are many 2008 Glengarry casks on the market with similar characters and similar ABV. So I think this is why they were swapping the casks and sell it without name.
Can you tell us what sherry is it?
Normally, if it's a sherry butt, I think this will be refill Oloroso sherry butt. It's not first fill, for sure not. Because the sherry impact isn't so heavy, so it will be not first fill.
I'm asking because it's got this rotten aroma.
Yeah, this is coming from, this is a typical style of Glengarry. If you're going back for Glengarry sherry casks, going back to the 70s or especially to the 68 ones, they have this aromatic. We call it in Germany Kuhstall. So that means where the cows are living and pooping. So this is a typical Glengarry style. There are not many distilleries have this slightly rotten style.
I usually love funkiness and like sulfur notes on a whiskey, but this one I cannot get these notes. I don't feel any rotten notes or sulfuric notes.
No, it's not sulfuric. It's more herbal. It's
herbal, exactly,
and
floral,
becoming drier.
Floral and herbal.
Yeah.
It's very gentle, very fresh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Fresh and gentle. This is a very accurate term for this.
But still dry. Eh? So in the palate,
Really
we have
dry.
lots of chocolate, nuts, and raisins. And
the balance is sweet and not sweet. It's very balanced. Very well. It's a very strong start.
And the alcohol is very good integrated. So this is normally this is a typical style for easy drinking whiskey.
It's a very good one. It's a very good beginning.
This is, at least it's the young whiskey. 14 years old, for me, it's still young whiskey.
Yeah.
But it has a different stylistic and aroma to the modern ones the Scottish industry are doing, like at the moment Signatory. So they are using fresh casks, putting the whiskey for some months in and get a lot of impact of the wood, and maybe sometimes they leave liters, 20 liters, 50 liters of sherry inside the cask, just putting in the whiskey. to get some short flavor and some dark color. So
It's cheating.
that means
This is called cheating.
yeah, but you know, there are certain players on the market, they exactly want this kind of whiskeys. I'm selecting whiskeys like this, so they have to be well balanced, and you need a note of aging, original aging, and not pushing some short flavors inside.
It is also important, Jens, to have a line, a philosophy in the way that you bottle and the way that you choose your cask, such as other bottlers, like you mentioned just now, have different philosophy and cater for a different profile altogether. So this makes it fun also to discover a whole bunch of other independent bottlers.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine with this. I have no problem with that. So they can choose whatever they want. I by myself dislike these whiskeys, so I will not bottle them for myself. But like North Star Spirits, they're making the first experiences also now with re-racking, fast maturing of fresh sherry casks. So if we have customers, they want this typical style of whiskey, we can make a delivery, but not with Sansibar bottlings, then we have to choose different brands. I don't talk about taste. Taste is very key. So someone is liking the whiskey and the other one say, okay, I don't want. So for me, it's important that every customer who's coming to our booth or in our restaurant or to our retailers, they will find a whiskey they like by themselves. For me, it's equal if you buy a bottle of Boma or a bottle of Glengarry or whatever. For me, it's important that if you're selling a bottle, doesn't matter what.
Good.
That's business.
Philosophy.
So when you're choosing your cask or whatever whiskey it is that you're choosing, you said that you're originally a part of a restaurant, basically. You were trying to match the whiskey to the characteristic of the restaurant. So do you think about the character of the restaurant or your customers who are coming to the restaurant? Because it's, if you understand what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
The spirit of the restaurant, of the more common customer that is arriving at the restaurant and dining there.
No, I think what we made for the restaurant is 3 different lines: the fruity one, the peaty one, the sherry one. So all these different basic lines are not single casks; they are blended by myself. So it's easy taste. Then we choose some different casks with different ages, and like the different markets, like the Taiwanese market, they're choosing different casks, or I'm choosing different casks with them together, than especially for Finest Whiskey Berlin or for the Australian market. So I'm listening to my customers, and they say, okay, we have customers or drinkers, they like the heavy peaty style, like the Swedish ones.
Yeah.
So that means I have to choose different casks for these markets than for our home markets.
So you're adjusting yourself by the customer demand.
Yes.
Cool.
And I have also some casks. I started a line, I think 1.5 years ago, called JD Personal Choices. So that means these are casks, they are fitting in no line and no special markets. It's just casks I like personally a lot. Has nothing to do with age or different. They are totally varies. I'm doing a 46-year-old one Tiernik, and the other one I'm choosing a 9-year-old bourbon Glengarry, and my new choice is a Swedish whiskey. So that means I'm playing with whiskey, but for customer releases, they ask me for a selection of casks, and I get them bottled for samples to choose. And the Swedish people And the French people are liking more the sweeter whiskeys, the sweeter casks, the Japanese ones like the elegant ones, and the Taiwanese people like normally heavy sherried one, or even clear peated like the Laforgue style. So different markets, different customers, different retailers, and I'm selecting the cask. This is my work. I'm listening to the people, and then I'm making some advance, say, okay, try this one, or mix this one. And yeah.
Can you tell something about the Zanzibar restaurant? Where is it located?
It's
Can we
located
visit it?
on the island in the northern point of Germany. You can easily find it if you go to the internet, say www.zanzibar.de, and you can get an impression. It's a really hot spot. So a lot of artists, painters, actors, business managers, politicians, all these people are coming there. It's directly at the beach, and in summertime we have about 4,000 people every day. So it's huge. It's really huge.
So I can tell you this, next time we're in Rock am Ring and we're going back to Berlin, I know where I'm going to stop.
Yeah, this we will see if we taste the finest whiskey Berlin. This has also a history of a good friend of mine, but I will tell you later. So at least every design, every cask has their own story behind this scenery. And you can also see in the history, if you have a look at our website, the different designs and when they are bottled, we are also changing. So that means we're late in the first years, we have the totally classic style black label. Now we're doing some joint bottlings or some extra bottlings for Dine Whiskey. It's a German retail shop with the white labels. I think we have done now 20 casks, very successful, very selective, these casks. Yeah, so many ideas, and everything is different. So there's not a strategy to say this cask has to be fit to everyone. That means we're selecting casks and whiskeys for different customers, and what the customers are like or wishes, we try to support.
So South Coast Whisky Society is a customer as well. So next time that you're choosing a cask, maybe do it with the even us, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Let me know. I will give you some samples, some ideas, and then we were doing exclusive bottling for Israel.
We can do a formal bottling of South Coast Whisky Society, joining even you, if it's okay with you, of course.
Yes. Yeah. Why not?
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so we can choose a cask for the. So we can choose a cask for our group.
Yeah, for your club. We also do some club bottling. So I've made some for Whiskey Club in Slante. This is a Swedish club. Now we have done some clubs bottlings for Norwegian market. We have done some club bottlings or bar bottlings in Japan. Yeah, we can do everything. It's
write it down.
I have it in my mind.
Asaf, open the pay box, please.
Excuse me?
Open the pay box, please.
We are not afraid of
Shut up and take our money.
Yeah. Yeah, first, you see, there's that means there's also a really nice whiskey bar in Germany called Xaver Choice. If you can Google it. It's running by a very friendly German woman, and we start 2 years ago. And I said, you have such a nice bar. I would select the bottling for you, and you can choose your design, and then we're doing bottling for your bar. And she says, oh, I don't have the money. I can't pay it. I said, don't worry. Let's choose first, and then you sell by time, and then you pay me. And she agreed. And now we've chosen number 10.
Wow.
And she's so happy, and everybody says, "Oh, this is so nice, your choice." But she's doing at least nothing. I gave her an idea and say, "Okay, do you like it?" "Yeah, give it to me." And we've done everything. We have done Bannerhaven, Kaila, Glenfarclas, Loch Lomond, grain whiskey, so totally different ones.
So we're not into casual whiskey. We want something special. So usually what we're doing is, you know, if it can be, even if it, you know, lately I'm into grain whiskey as well. So if you have something special with grain whiskey,
A lot.
so this is something we will be more than happy to do, because this is very special, and we have a lot of you know, guys that say, okay, it's grain whiskey, it's cheap. You don't. We want something special from grain whiskey. So
Yeah.
if it's possible, we'll be more than happy to do it.
I will send a list of available casks we have already, and then you can mark whatever you want, and I will send you samples, and then you can taste and let me know. No problem.
Yes. Cool.
And we have some really good grain whiskies, but I'm always going in the more aged ones. That means the minimum age of grain whiskey is 30 years old, even higher.
Go for it. Let's go for it.
Okay.
Old grain whiskey.
This one I write down. I just noticed it. Okay, wait.
Which is the next one that we're tasting? Is it this one?
It's
No,
coming told 16 years old, or you want to go with something else?
Oh, I don't know.
You tell us. It's your stage.
Tomintoul
16 years
is
old.
finished already. We need to go further.
No, we got Glengarry 14 years old. This was the first one. The second one will be Tomintoul or whatever Jens is.
Tomintoul is fine.
Tomintoul is fine. So let's go with Tomintoul 16 years old with sherry butt.
Yeah, I think so.
Going by the numbers.
So people ask you what a butt is. It's not S.
So
people.
This Tomintoul 2005 16-year-old cherry butt number 13. This is different one. So that means it's quite dry, but it has this Christmas style like marzipan, resins, ripe apples, bitter oranges, and I personally like these Tomintoul ones. We had two butts. One we have selected for this Fassino design. The design is made by Fassino. Fassino is the one of the world leading 3D artists from New York. And he likes traveling. So we have chosen some, we call them the Traveler series. We have chosen some casks. One was for Japan, and he was doing the labeling and the box with this in his style about all this the visiting things of Japan, like Mount Fuji, the Shinkansen, whatever. We have done one for Australia. This was I think what one was the Kleinisch, one was the Ben Nevis. I'm not sure at the moment. And we have chosen 3 bottlings for Germany, and we call it the heart of Germany's, because we started in the north in Berlin, then we go to the middle west, and number 3 we have today, it's more the south. So that means you can find on the design the Munich city, the Schloss Castle New Schwanstein, and all these. So that means the design is very famous, and these are the first steps. We try to combine art and whiskey.
There was also Glenfarclas, no?
Yeah, there was one Glenfarclas in 2001. Yeah. And let me check. I can tell you. I just need to go back to my web. So Yeah, there was a Kleinlich 96 for Japan, a Banner Heaven 2009, Sherry cask for Australia, Glengrant 97, Ramcast was the first heart for Germany, then the 19-year-old Glenfarclas was the second heart for Germany, and the Tomin Tool.
Yeah, we sold it last year, the Glenfarclas. We sold this one last year. It was a very, very good bottle.
Yeah. So this was the first steps we made with Fascino to combine live art with whiskey. So because this is also my personal opinion, if you're drinking whiskey or producing whiskey, it's always a luxury product. That means if you sell a bottle, and even 50 or 60 euros is a huge price, a huge money for a bottle of liquor, the customer can express that he get a combination of a good haptic design and the whiskey inside. We don't want to make ugly things with peeling off labels and bad whiskey inside. So it's just a luxury product, and art is feeling the same unique style like whiskey, because you never will find a whiskey tasting like the other one. Every whiskey is different. There's similar whiskeys, but not the same whiskeys if you have different casks, and art is the same. So if you choose artists, they will do always something unique. They will never do the same, and every artist is different. And that was my opinion to combine this part. And this very famous artist, he was so happy because now he is doing Fascino whiskey, and the success was quite good. And now we make the first steps to USA. And so we're also getting new customers in, because there are many art lovers. They have no experience in whiskey, and they start buying whiskey now.
Guys, please mute yourself when you're entering the room, please, so Jens could speak, please. Thank you.
Tomin Tool is one of it's a little bit not really it's a little bit of a sorry. It's not really a famous distillery. It's a little bit under the radar, but doing excellent stuff overall. All the bottles that we've tasted so far in the few last years were all excellent.
Yes.
And we've sold quite a few of your bottles as well. The 16-year-old and a 25-year-old, I think, as well, and excellent bottles.
Yeah. So one of my best bottlings ever was a Tomin Tool, 1967.
Birth year.
Yeah, it's bottled in, I think we bottled it 2013 or 2014, something like this. If you search the bottle like this, one is now attending it's a current whiskey auctioneer auction. This is one of my personally best bottlings I've ever done. So
from Tomin Tool?
Tomin Tool 1967 was a black label, black Sansibar label. This was really good.
So I think that Yves said it. Tomin Tool in Israel is a very under the radar. People really don't actually like it. Don't know it. Usually, yes, also doesn't know it. But I think this is a well-balanced and very complex whiskey, and it changes every second that you smell it and taste it. It's a very surprise.
You can play with them. And Tomin Tool has for sure some excellent vintages. Not all of them are really good, but if you take some time and some passion and some work, you will find always excellent whiskeys from this distillery.
Yes, I'm usually agree with Asaf. I'm usually not a fan of Terminal, but this is a very good drum. It's a good drink.
Yeah, but it has also some herbal and some pepperies, so it's changing. Yeah, it's a playing whiskey in your mouth. Yeah, it's not that easy drinking whiskey like the one before.
It has a little bit more alcoholic punch, but still it's a very easygoing and a nice sip.
Yeah, but again, to compare this whiskey
Yeah, you can compare it.
is 2 years older,
Yeah.
but the taste is quite younger than the first one.
It's more intense. Yes.
Much younger, yeah.
More challenging, more everything, and it changes with every minute that it is in the
glass. Yeah.
In the glass, it does. It's in first place when we just opened it and poured it into the glass. It was freshy, but not very distinct in any kind of flavor or any scent. There was nothing that was really saying, "This is my ID card." You have something freshy in the glass. And
now
then
it changes,
with
and then it goes.
the minute goes by, you have more scent, more complexity. And after you taste it, you got this sweetness vibe, but there's no sugar in it. If there's no sweetness in flavor, or there is different kind of sweetness.
Yeah, it's a herbal peppery sweetness.
Yes,
so,
yes, exactly. You have a lot of black pepper here on this, so it's very spicy.
Yeah, black pepper. This is what I was looking.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But also with some sweetness like caramel milk and peanut butter. So yeah, it's a very, very funny, tasty playing whiskey. Okay. I like it a lot, so I miss this.
Crazy.
A little bit sad only to get these 2 sherry butts at that time. I'm not able to find these sherry butts again at the moment. They are not on the market.
It's a shame, but it's because it's a very, very complex and very unique whiskey. It's very good. I like it, and I think it's just for us. These things are a little bit more than the easy sipping. It's complex. It changes. It gives you more. You need a drum with this. You have maybe to add a little bit water for this. You need some time. Give it some air, some oxygen. This is for us.
Yeah, you need to be a whiskey geek or a whiskey fan to really enjoy that experience.
You're gonna put this kind of whiskey in your restaurant?
No.
Yeah, I thought so.
No, and just for bottle buyment, but not for opening and tasting.
Yeah.
Because this is too experimental and it's like an artist. It's very unique.
Yeah.
So Mike Cooper, I think, wants to say something.
No, I wanted to ask if it is a cask strength or just.
No, this one is watered a little bit down because the original cask strength of this sherry butts was nearly 60%, and this was too strong in my opinion. Because if you're putting the ABV too high, you will close all this peppery, herbal, peanut butter style. So if you're watering it down, you open the flavors, you open the herbal, and you get also the milk sweetness. It's not floated by the alcohol.
I think it's an excellent choice you've done here with the watering down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I might say I disagree about the Terminal. I mean, I liked it less than the Glengarry. The nose is typically Terminal is perfect. It's so interesting, so fresh, so everything. But the mouth and the aftertaste was okay for me. I think I feel what you say in the beginning. It's older, but it feels much younger.
This is
absolutely.
beauty in whiskey.
But yeah, what I tell you, this is we cannot fight about taste because everybody has a different taste. And I have so many customers and visitors. They're staying in front of me and saying, "Wow, I can smell and I taste this, and it's just the opposite. I'm tasting." I say, "No, you have a different whiskey, but that's it." Yeah. And I stopped fighting about taste because someone like it and someone likes it not. And so everybody, for me, it's important. After this evening, if you get along the lineup and you say, okay, I have 2 good whiskeys, 2 normal whiskeys, and 1 I don't like, it's quite good for me.
Tell me, Jens, a question. Do you feel that taste, just like you say, you know, that the different tastes are different with different cultures? With, I mean, if you have Asian people, or if you have European people, or if you have, does that influence the taste and the way that you feel, experience your whiskey?
No, that I don't think so, because it's so variety. The most important part is in how long do you drink whiskey, and what experience you've made. That means many people starting inside whiskey with Coca-Cola and Jim Beam, like me, it's okay. And then you go to the sweetest one. Most of them are going into the whiskey market with heavy sherry whiskeys. But this, then you're getting boring. If you're developing your tongue and your taste and your everything, and the more you taste, you swap. So that this is also the reason why collections are coming up in the market. Most of the collectors, they never intend to collect bottles. They just buy what they like. But after some time, or a year or 2 years, they say, oh, the whiskey I bought, I don't like, I buy a new one. I go to Isla, I go for peated, or I go for old peated style, the elegant style. But at least, in my opinion and in my experience, after certain years, you're going into the whiskey market, you always end up in the more aged bourbon whiskeys, because this is the pure spirits of whiskey. But to come to this stage, you have to taste a lot of whiskeys, and sometimes you're going back and then going again on the next step. And that means if you taste whiskey a long time, you're training your taste, and then you will find what you personally like most. It doesn't matter if these are Swedish people, Asia people, or Australia people. It's just a matter of experience, how many years you're drinking and how many whiskey you're drinking. I have some people, they are just 2 or 3 years in the market, but they taste whiskey every day. So they have much more experience than people that are drinking 10 or 15 years whiskey because they only open a bottle on Christmas. This is yeah, and then the climate is infecting. The climate is changing. It's raining outside. It's hot. Are you feeling well? Are you feeling unwell? If you have an accident, if you have eaten something rotten, so that everything is going inside. If you have some stress in the family, or you have a happy wife, good life, whatever, so this always infects the whiskey taste you have in this moment, in my opinion. Yeah. So we cannot say in general the Chinese people, or Chinese, maybe they are too young in the market, but the Hong Kong people, they like only Macallan, and the Swedish ones only like Lafroig. This is not correct. Yeah.
So what you're saying is Swedish people only like peaty with eye lime notes, like I guess I'm Swedish.
At least the Swedish people like high ABV whiskies. So they like 56 to 62, 63.
They like the punch.
People in Israel,
also like high-edge whiskeys.
Yeah,
It's
in
okay.
Israel we also like usually the more powerful whiskeys with more distinct notes, like very powerful sherry, very powerful peat, very powerful bourbon. We like the influence of the cask very much. So
Okay.
so usually I'm not talking about myself only. I'm talking about what usually the Israeli crowd likes. So we like, as I
What's
see
the
it,
difference between the Israeli crowd that's on meetings like this that are whiskey people as opposed to just the general populace?
yeah, I agree with you. But you know, I encounter this also with people that are whiskey geeks in Israel, because I think that in Israel, from my experience, yes, is that people like the cask more than they like the whiskey sometimes, and this is sometimes it's a problem. People like Kavalan, most of the Kavalan Solis, people are always on this and like this very, very much. And the sherry solist, I think, with my opinion, is not whiskey, it's sherry, with a little bit of whiskey, little bit.
Yeah. You know, this is the reason why we always, if we're doing serious quality checks, we always taste blind.
Yes, this is what we should do. Yes.
Yeah.
So when you're sending casks to us, cask samples for us, no information about them. We should not know anything about them.
Okay. Or we're just doing A, B, C, D. No worries.
Exactly. Exactly. So what's the next one?
Yeah, North Star Spirits. So North Star Spirits is founded by my friend Ian Croucher. Ian Croucher was the former brand ambassador for Adewatrai, and I met him in 2016 in an Italian festival in Roma. And he asked me, he needs some trustful guy to sell his whiskeys in the German market. And I flew over to Scotland, meeting his family, and then we agreed to do the sales for North Star. And we're also not doing German market. We're doing exports to the Korean market, to Japanese, to Switzerland, even to Israel, for this brand. And North Star, it's a little bit different in cask choosing. So this is more the experimental whiskeys, mostly young ones, driven by finishing, re-racking now. Always cask strengths. So it's a good opportunity to mix with selection of us, because sometimes these whiskeys are great and sometimes I don't want to choose these casks. But we are back on the matter of taste. Everybody should choose whatever he wants. You have chosen Roya Brakla. Roya Brakla was a former distillery Brakla, but then visiting by Mr. King Charles now. And he likes this distillery so much, so he gave them the Royal title. So at that time, from that on, it's called Roya Brakla. It's a 2008, 13 years old, Series 20 of North Star Spirits. It's a refill bourbon barrel. And this Series 20 was exclusive bottled for the German market, or even for our company for distribution. This whiskey is, I didn't have it in the glass for a long time, but I can imagine that Roya Brakla is very powerful but elegant whiskey. So it's quite juicy, a lot of lemon juice inside.
Absolutely.
And it's a funny whiskey, so it's a good life whiskey.
It ages well in the glass. If you leave it a little bit hanging out in the glass, it's developing very, very well. It's I think it's a very well made whiskey, this one.
I'm totally agree with that.
Yeah. So
This one is exceptional. It's much better than the Tomintoul for my taste.
Arnul.
It shows older than his age, I think. It's a very it's a very good cask.
Now this is my favorite.
there are some really good, excellent Roya Bakla casks in the market, the younger ones. This one is 2008. We had also had one with 2006, and we've done one with 2011 for the Taiwanese market. This was also quite active casks. So sometimes these bourbon casks, they're looking like sherry casks, but they are bourbon casks.
It's very fresh, as you said, very lemony, very first notes you get is lemon fresh, like and then when you taste it, you get a lot of bourbon notes. It's well balanced.
Very fat, very oily.
Oily, yeah.
Yeah, it's a true spirit whiskey.
Not dry at all.
Not dry at all.
It's very oily, very creamy.
Thick.
It's
whiskey.
very thick.
Yes.
My first impression was not really sourdough, but sourdough cake or something, as in the scent, like yeast dough, but not a sour yeast dough. This is exactly what I was looking for, like a crunch cake or something. And the flavor that came with it was very creamy, very sweet, also very peppery, by the way, for me at least.
Nice.
Very good. Love it.
Good.
You can see it's very oily on the, yeah.
I like it. I'm a huge fan of bourbon casks, especially refills. So, cheers, guys.
Yeah, bourbon cask is usually more balanced, and I agree with you. For me,
I think it gives more room for the character of the spirit to come forward.
Exactly.
Instead to try to hide it with
hide it
wines
behind the cask and behind the sherry and behind the dessert wine, behind the
Those are also nice, but
yeah, you must imagine that over 90% of these young whiskeys are on the market now. They're all original bourbon casks. And then they're getting some short flavors from different wine finishings or even sherry cask finishing, just to put in some different taste and some color. And this is, in my opinion, it's a shame, because the Scottish people should be working more with the original ones and selecting the good qualities instead of making everything the same.
We should work more together. You know, we're the same thinking. We have the same way of thinking, man.
But you see, if you see even these companies like Gordon MacPhail, yeah, they have a 60-year-old bourbon cask, and then they put it 2 years or 58 years, and they put it 2 years in a refill sherry cask just to get some
color,
some wine finishing, some color in it.
That
so
is
this
a
is a
crime.
Scottish one. They're not taking care of the whiskey quality. They just say, okay, if we put some color in it, we can double the price. That's it, done.
That's
There's
shame.
no reason for 30,
Correct.
40-year-old whiskeys to finish. There's no reason. Nothing. If you have is in a bourbon cask.
I agree. I feel the same, and I think the same, and I think that it's a shame that you're trying to manipulate whiskey with adding color or adding sherry for it to make more color. As long as it's natural and it gives the natural flavor, and you don't add artificial, let's say. I can say it's not artificial, but you can say artificial with this, you know. So it's a problem for me, at least.
This is one of the issues I have with PX casks or PX seasoned casks. This is a total abomination in my opinion. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's getting boring. If you have one PX seasoned cask, you know the other 12 coming in a row because they are tasting more or less all the same.
especially those that are especially seasoned with some, I don't know, special mixture of PX, this, I don't know what it is, but sometimes they're just seasoning the cask, throwing it away. The whiskey loses a lot of his romance, a lot of his charm by doing such things. So
yeah.
It's like the French in the 16th century, you know, they put perfume to hide something else.
Yeah. You're right. But
if you don't take a bath for 2 months and then you put some perfume on, you smell like a flower.
but at least if you're not using the tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, you should put it aside and taste it later again. And if you have the seasoned casks, or even the PX ones, and then you have a empty glass, and after 3 hours you're sniffing on the glass, all these whiskeys are sniffing the same. You didn't find a difference. But if you use the bourbon ones, they're just smelling the same as the whiskeys inside. They're keeping their flavor, their aroma.
Yeah, we totally agree with you. This is the way we think, and this is the way we want things to be, because we want the whiskey DNA. We want it to be more natural, and we want it to be clear. I'm not saying what Mike said before about the romance. I don't care about romance. I care about the taste, and to be genuine and special and unique and complex, and not too much cask influenced.
That is why for young distilleries, it's important also, you know, while many young distilleries experience or experiment with different cask styles, it's important for them to also to concentrate and release also on a regular basis, you know, DNA-based, you know, bourbon cask, straight bourbon cask whiskey, in order to for us consumers, because there's so many different distilleries coming out now, to be able to identify the DNA and the personality of each distillery that is coming out. There are so many different distilleries. The cask we know, but where is the personality of the distillery?
Yeah,
This
I
is
totally
very,
agree
very
with you.
important.
But if the problem is with all these young distilleries, they don't have the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
most of them
they
are financed by investor capital, and they want to have the money back, or at least some dividends. So they have to sell casks, and they have to create fast aging whiskies to bring on the market. At least this experience will crash for sure. I'm quite sure 80 to 85% of the new distilleries we've seen now, they will not survive 10 years. For sure.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, maybe.
The natural selection.
But you see,
survival of the oldest.
one of my really, I have 2 good examples. Look at Puni Distillery. Puni Distillery from Italy. They had made everything correctly. When they were young, they have brilliant whiskey, like Duftmill today. And then they changed production to make it more faster, using different woods, and they crashed down all the quality, the spirits line of the distillery, the integrity. The other example is Kilchoman. Kilchoman is doing excellent whiskeys, maybe one of the best Islay whiskeys, but they have selling so much single cask. Every neighbor has their own single cask. So they're floating the market with single cask, same profile, excellent profile, but too much single cask. So collectors are going away, say, I cannot afford to buy every week 2 new single casks of whiskeys. the drinker says, okay, I still have 10 single casks of Kilchoman. I don't need number 12 to 14. And so they ruined all the good way from start. No, nobody cares about Kilchoman at the moment. It's totally boring. Indeed, they're making really good whiskey, but the design is always the same. So it doesn't matter if you buy a single cask from Kilchoman for Sansibar or for Israel or for Shinanoya. They're just using a small sticker you cannot see, and all these bottles are looking the same. And the people losing interest because they say, I don't understand, and that's it. I have tasted two and I have one bottle. I don't need another one.
I totally agree about Kilchoman. You know, I have a few bottles of them and I stopped buying them because
what should they do? What should they do? What do you think they should? How do you think they should go forward?
No, they should keep brand building. That means creating different standard one, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 18-year-old one, and choosing some really good retailers, and then creating a brand and single cask on top. But they're choosing the different way. They start selling single cask because to refinance the distillery. And now, after many, many years, they're coming up with the basic lines and say, now we are ready to create basic lines. But now the people don't listen to them anymore and say, okay, we don't need to Kilchoman basic line.
I gotta say, I really like Kilchoman. They have their own baseline releases or the regular releases, and they have those single cask, and I like it. I like playing with whiskey. I like using strange casks, Calvados cask or wine casks. I like it. You know, it is interesting. I will taste every Kilchoman that I can put my hand on, either from samples or whatever, but they still have their own bourbon, and they're doing it, I think, quite smartly, because they have their bourbon matured whiskey, and then they have in sherry, partly sherry, and then they have the full sherry. I like it. I gotta say, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's perfect. But
I'm not talking about the quality of these casks. I'm talking about the numbers. They have bottled trillions, millions, whatever of casks. So whiskey, if all of these distilleries only producing whiskey for drinkers, none of these distilleries will survive, not one. So you need the collector items, the luxury market, the funds, the asset classes. So
the whiskey gets us.
But this is exactly the thing. I think the whiskey world is changed, and they understood it. They understood that there are now groups of people drinking, like regional groups, and we have this South Coast Whisky Society from Israel that will be happy to have a bottling of a single cask Kilchoman, and they are jumping on the wagon. Why not? And I for us, if we had a chance to do it, nobody will say anything.
Yeah, of course. But again, it depends on which cask, and it's supposed to be very unique.
Of course. But they are doing it
again. They, as Jen said, there was a point when they stopped being unique. So,
yeah, maybe.
So next,
about
Kilchoman.
Well, actually, I would love to see some Kilchomans with an age statements, high age statements that are available and priced well, and I don't see it right now. So even they have all the single casks, I think that what Asaf said, it is correct, because they stop being unique.
The age of Kilchoman as a distillery is around 11 or something like that. So most of the casks are not age statement.
Yep, but I would love to taste some Kilchoman that are 16 years old right now, that the one that come out right now, and 70 years old, and 80 years old maybe, or 20 years old.
Agreed 100%.
But they can't, because they are not They are not in exist 16 years ago. They exist only for 11 or years.
So what's the oldest Kilchoman you drink was 11 years old?
Mine? I can't remember.
Yes, it used to be maybe 12 was, I don't think they have more than 12. This
Kilchoman and also Port Charlotte. These are the Islay whiskeys I like when they are very young. So also the best Port Charlottes are only 4 or 6 years old. I've tasted.
like Octomore.
No, not Octomore.
Oh, it's Buchladi. Sorry, it's my
It's
my bad.
Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte, it's very fresh, unique, and powerful, but elegant taste when they are young.
Mm.
If they're getting too old, now we have a 21-year-old Port Charlotte finished in a Chevy cask. It's an Islay whiskey, but the character, this cracking, this young one, and this was also from Kilchoman. The first cask, they were 4 and 5 years old from Kilchoman. They were really, really tasteful, excellent balanced, and absolutely clean bourbon style Islay whiskey. This one was what I like, but you can drink it for having some beers, and then these whiskeys are fitting very well in combination. You don't need to taste a 30-year-old Bowmore with some beer. This makes no sense.
That's not reasonable.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's go for the next one, I think. It's
9 years old.
By the way, the oldest Kilchoman is 17.
Huh?
By the way, the oldest Kilchoman is 17. Look
17.
on the, yes.
Yeah. And how much is the price?
Wait.
Wait.
He's waiting for all the zeros to load on the screen.
No, there isn't any number on Whiskey Base. Sorry.
What is the next whiskey that we're tasting, Jens? It's
the Clynelish, the Secret Highland Clynelish one, 2013. Yeah, this one.
So who is designing these labels? You had a story for this.
Yes, absolutely, because this is it's an older woman called Ronnie Kravitz. It's a Scottish artist, and I met her when we go for the Old and Rare in Glasgow, the whiskey festival, and we go with some Swiss and German people into the pub Pot Still, and they start drinking heavily, and I was sitting aside because I had already enough whiskey from the show, and this woman was sitting next to me and sketching all the bottles and shelves and people in a very, very fast art. And I was looking over her shoulder and saying, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she says, "I'm painting. I'm always sitting and painting." I say, "Okay, can I invite you for a glass of whiskey?" And she says, "Yes, sure." And so we start talking. And then she recognized that we are whiskey lovers, and she was saying she's drinking whiskey, but more or less she's an actor. And we're swapping telephone numbers, and I was asking her, what do you think about drawing labels on whiskey, for whiskey bottlings? And she says, "Yeah, let me know what you're thinking." And so we've made different series with her because she's painting the distilleries. She's also doing some street work. She's doing some flowers, and every bottle of the Finest Whiskey Berlin series are handmade paintings by her. So every bottle is unique, and we're choosing different styles of the distillery. That means Finest Whiskey Berlin started with these secret or unknown whiskeys. It's made for a shop in Berlin. My friend Uwe Wagmüller, he's running also a pub. So if you are in Berlin, go to the Union Jack. It's a very, very fully packed pub of whiskey bottles, all ages, all matters. And he also had a whiskey show in Berlin called Finest Whiskey. And we selected, say, okay, if you have a pub, you have a shop, and you have a fair, let's do a whiskey bottling for your show. And that was the birthday of Finest Whiskey Berlin. And we're using, instead of naming the distillery, always painting the distillery on the main label and putting the details of the whiskey on the back labels. That's it. And now we are on batch number 14. I don't know, the Kleinisch is maybe batch number 12 or 13. I don't remember.
I like it. Very malty.
13. It's
13.
batch
This
number
is-
13.
This will give hair on your chest. This is a very powerful whiskey.
Wow.
Yeah, it has 52.5 bourbon hogshead. And this has the combination of all these Kleinisch style. That means a little bit sour, lime, grapefruit, bitter orange, but also honey and mineralic. Very smooth, but malty with vanilla, white chocolate, elderberries. And in the aftertaste, it's also again malty, peppery and floral, a little bit phenolic, and what I like on whiskeys is the mineralic aftertaste. So for a young whiskey, 9 years old, it's an excellent stylistic of bourbon cask whiskey.
Yeah, true.
Excellent one. Excellent. It's
Yeah. And I know this, there was another Kleinisch similar label, but the new distillery, 1983. But the 2013 was selling quite faster and much better, but maybe it depends on the pricing. And this whiskey you also can easily drink when it's 30 degrees outside.
We sold quite a few of Kleinisch from Zanzibar in the past. Three of them from '96 actually.
Yeah, 96. Yeah.
The 21 years old, 24 years old, two of them.
And the 96 ones are the more fruity ones. They are the less honey and waxy ones. They are much more fruity ones. We have one 96 Kleinisch from Taiwan.
Yeah, we bottled it. It's beautiful with the blue label, right?
Yeah, no, it has a yellow label, but the blue one also. Yeah, this was the first expression.
This one.
Yeah, this is I think this was the first release, and I mean another one. It has a yellow label.
They all sold very fast. They were truly excellent bottles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love these ones. We've done also a 1960 with Stein Whiskey, 27 years old, sold out very fast. And there's also one from Dully, Switzerland, 96 at the moment on the market. So there are not many casks coming up now of this style.
This is my favorite so far.
Again,
this is my favorite. For now, this is my favorite. And we have only the Beaumont.
I second it.
And we have only the Beaumont, which should be probably very very good as well.
Yeah, I bet on the Balmo.
Yeah, you bet on the Balmo.
I bet on the Balmo. My money is on the Balmo.
So, as I told you, we
I don't bet
Israelis
on the
love a
Balmo,
lot of
I tasted it.
PT casks.
We pretty Balmo is not extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I let you finish or drinking the Kleinisch first, because telling something to the Boma, because Boma has a different story. I really remember very, very well when selecting this cask of Boma.
We should. This is. Eve, what's the price of these Kleinisch? You still have it? It's available?
No.
I'm afraid it's all gone by now.
Of course.
Maybe Eve have just one for him.
Here it is.
But we need
I'll take it.
Asaf, I'm close. I will take it.
Let's fight over it.
Okay.
You're bigger. I lose.
No, Kfar Saba is much more close than Ashkelon.
Yeah. You get the first.
נא להתנהג בהתאם.
Oh, look who's talking.
I'm just looking for it. So what did you say? Batch 12? No, 13, no?
13, yes.
13. Oh, it's sold out. Sorry.
I tend to go for the pricey one and the sold out ones. Late bloomer. I wake up very, very late at the day.
The price has just come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like it's €100 priced bottle approximately in our markets, at least. Great stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
This is the perfect nose. My friend here says that he can use it as a cologne.
Exactly, as a perfume.
As a perfume. This is.
Peter, where are you?
I'm just looking for my good friend who liked this whiskey. There's one shop in Germany. They should have one bottle.
And you're helping me to get it, yeah?
Which shop? Whiskey Banayak?
No, Whiskey Burg.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they have it for it's €99.
Okay.
It's a €100 bottle. This is exactly what we sold it for here. Yeah. There will be more, no, Jens?
You will have more batches from this
Kleinisch.
No, I don't think so.
Thank you. Thank you, Bades.
I'm just checking where's it.
The price has just raised up again.
Yeah. By the second.
It's
I think I'll keep a little bit for later.
You're lucky. I have one more cask.
Yeah. He's checking his cask inventory right now. Yes.
Okay.
This is gonna be the bottle. This is gonna be the cask that we're gonna get for our group. Yeah.
Okay. Now just open the
No,
boxes
I'm not
again.
doing it for the group. We will have samples. Let them choose. No. But
Asaf,
one of them.
Asaf, we will do it for us.
Yeah.
It for you. Okay.
Yeah, I have. It's a sister cask. It's also 2013. Now 10 years old.
Much better.
I'm just
Perfect.
checking.
We don't have any selections. We don't get any samples. We'll get this one.
Just bottle it and send it to Israel, please.
Bottle and send it.
No, it's already bottled. It's in our warehouse. It's also bourbon hogshead.
Why bother bottling? We'll just drink straight from the cask.
Go take care of the baby, David.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I,
says,
now I have very high expectations of the Bowmore. No.
yeah, this Boomer will, yeah, but don't worry, the Boomer will beat it. Don't worry. I'm
Really?
quite sure.
Wow. When you say it,
Mm.
he said that the Bowmore is going to beat the Kleindish.
That's what I get. Hands down.
Wow. This is a very, very expectations gone higher than
Yeah.
Bowmore sherry cask, what can be wrong?
Nothing.
Then we should bow more.
So,
The only thing that's wrong with it that it comes in a 30 milliliter, not in a full bottle size.
You know, this Boomer, when I got the sample and it was a blind sample, I know it already, you can easily recognize this is some excellent style cask. So always when I get up my hairs on my arm,
wow.
this cask has something special. And even the young Bowmores, if you're taking the vintages 2001, 2002, 2008, 2014, and 1993, they are all excellent. So for me, Bowmore is the distillery who's making the best turnaround of quality of whiskey. They're just doing the opposite from other distilleries. So the younger they are, the new production, even if McEwen was going away, they start producing really good whiskey again. And this one is one of the best examples. It's Shabby Hogshead, 348 bottles, 48.7%. This is the strength. We bought it. We've done nothing. And this has this typical Bowmore notes in a good way, combined with this peat, maritime, subtly smoky, and this very long aftertaste, warming heather money, fine herbs, sweet vanilla, honey and bacon, and this very simple.
חזקה באשקלון, חבר'ה, חזקה באשקלון.
So they're saying that there is a siren right now in Ashkelon. But
כן, אצלך אסף, באשקלון דרום.
I'm right now in Tel Aviv, so.
Oh, you're much more closer than me.
Yeah. My girlfriend is sending me, are you in Ashkelon? No, I'll get her calm down right now.
In Israel, we have a kids snack called Bisli Grill. This is exactly it. It's a barbecue flavored snack. So this is what I get from it.
So I get a lot of herbal anise. Lots
medicine.
of
yes.
Lots
absolutely.
of medicine in the nose.
Exactly.
Am I the
Caramel,
only one that feels
cinnamon,
like banana, like ripe banana?
dried fruit, yes. Anise, yeah.
And very ripe banana.
Yeah, I also get it.
And blackberries. Also a little bit tobacco.
So it's Bisli Grill and anise.
No, it's not anise.
You know, you don't usually get this herbal notes with the barbecue notes together. Usually it's very separate. You don't get them mixed up usually. It's very unique when you get these both of them together.
Yeah.
So this is very unusual drum.
This is slightly the style Bowmore producing in the 60s and more in the end of the 60s, 68 to 69, beginning 70s distillation. You cannot find them often, but this is not so strong like this whiskies before, but it has some ingredients. And this makes, in my opinion, this cask for so special, and I like it a lot.
Wow, this is uniquely, it's special that I've never smelled something like this before. This is the first time I smelled this kind of combination. I never expected this.
I never even smelled something like this.
Never. You cannot smell the sherry, by the way.
Yeah,
There
you
isn't,
don't sherry
there,
notes
there
in the
isn't,
nose.
there isn't any sherry notes on in the nose.
You know,
I
then
already
it's good.
smelled the ink notes in this one.
Wait for me, guys. I didn't test it yet.
No,
Getting the shot.
me neither. Just smell it.
Yeah, it has a whole story on the nose. I mean, it changes, it evolves. It's very rich and complex, and it layers upon layers. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Where do we get a bottle?
When do we get the barrel? Not the bottle. When do we get the barrel?
I think you already ordered 3 or 4 barrels tonight, if I'm not correct, if I'm not wrong. Because we have a grain, we have a klein.
Third one.
One goes for Jerusalem.
But for sure, the Bomo is sold out. We don't have it anymore.
Never smelled something like this. This is the thing that we like, because when you every time that you encounter something different, when you're drinking so many drums and you have our guys in the group have a lot of experience. They usually drink on daily basis or 3-4 times a week. And when you encounter something new that you don't have experienced before, this is thumbs up.
This is so different.
Instead, we can quit
So
anytime we
different.
want to.
I cannot stop smelling it.
Yeah,
exactly.
So different.
Wow.
This is weird and unique.
Yeah.
Mint, yeah, mint flavor, mint and anise and barbecue. Wow, this is.
Totally
I'm not sure that this is I'm not sure that this one I like the most in flavor, but it's the most unique one that I've ever tasted so far.
And smell.
And smelled, yeah.
No, sherry notes.
I can't get any sherry notes.
No, there isn't any sherry notes.
Yeah, definitely number one. Definitely.
Because usually you get the dry fruits, the dates, the raisins. There's no raisins here. There's no raisins here. Are you sure it's sherry, Bob? Sherry cask?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's Oloroso, maybe, probably. Yeah.
Guys, a little bit of water will open up the flavor a little bit more.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll do this. I'll try with water. Maybe water will add a little bit more.
Just exploded. It just exploded. 2 drops, no more.
Yeah, I'll do it. Where's the cork? 5. Yeah. Ah, perfect.
You feel really bummed.
By the way, the Kleinlich excelled with a little bit water. And too much water.
Try not to drown it.
You already drowned it.
No, I haven't put anything. You said 2 drops?
Yeah, 2 or 3 drops.
Wow.
No.
It's definitely
4
happy.
drops, but it's 4 drops, but it's a lot of it's about 20 mils. So I think.
And 1 drop of lemon economica.
If you add some drops of water to the Bomo, it's getting more smokier.
Yeah. You get more smoke on the nose, and the flavor is a little bit close.
Yeah, but where is the sherry?
There's no.
Maybe it was a refill sherry hogshead, so that the influence must be not so big. Sherry cask. We have also some sherry casks. We have a Lafroig sherry cask. It's plain like a white wall. You cannot see anything of the sherry cask. So sherry cask means not always color.
No. But when you add the water, you do get a little bit more dry fruit. It's more fruity.
Yes, definitely.
It needs the water to get the cask influence. For sure, you get more fruity notes when you get the water in it. Yeah.
Actually, after the water, it reminds me of Ben Romach a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit for the vintage.
Maybe that's why Tomer liked it.
Yes. When you put it like this, yes. No, it's exactly like Ben Romach.
Those caramel Werther's original.
Yes.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Yes.
Werther's only. Yeah.
I remember the first time I tasted it.
It reduces a little bit the nose, the smokiness on the nose, but the flavors from the flavors get higher and more amplified.
More immense.
Wow, it's very special. Yeah. Yeah, I have two first places.
Yakir, you are right. When I taste it again, it really reminds me of the Ben Romach.
Okay, we have a winner, by the way.
What?
We have a winner, by the way.
Definitely a winner.
Okay, Asaf, we are going to take this cask, please.
Yeah. So, guys, we're choosing cask right now.
Okay. If you're going to import 5 casks for the southern, please.
So we're going for 5 casks in the price of 1 cask. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to discuss with Eve, huh?
No. He's here, everything, and he's with us. He's going to do the purchasing, and we'll do it through him. Don't worry. But we're going for 5 casks, the price of 1. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it is recorded, Eve, by the way.
Yeah.
He will come to you with a money suitcase.
In money suitcase in pay box.
A digital money suitcase.
No, we're not taking Bitcoin, just pure euro or US dollar.
Digital money, not a digital coin.
No.
Transaction.
Just hard money.
Cash money.
Yeah, probably cash.
We like to see faces on the money.
I can sleep in this. Yeah.
Okay, about sleeping. I would like to go to bed because tomorrow morning it's a very early wake up call.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I have to say
very nice to speak with you, to learn from you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Okay, so we will have some points. We're choosing 5 casks. I will attend to the Whiskey Live in Israel, and keep in touch. It was funny for me too, except I cannot drink, but I will for sure drinking some more whiskeys on your healthy. And thank you very much for listening to me and my English. And hopefully we met one day personally.
Thank you, Jens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jens, very much. On behalf of all South Coast Whisky Society, we thank you for being here and giving this perfect lecture and perfect whiskey. When you're done here, we'll choose the winner for this day, and I'm pretty sure we have 2 of them. So thank you very much. It was a great evening, and hope to see you soon in Israel.
Okay.
On live.
And always thinking, drink more.
It's not the time. It's not the time.
We'll try.
Okay.
Just bring the cask with you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. See you.
All the best.
Bye.
And,
Good
see you
night.
somewhere. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Eve will be in touch.
You go to sleep and I will sleep to something comfortable. אסף, זה נוקאוט, זה לא...
מה, הנוקאוט של הבומו?
וואו, לחלוטין. דיוויד, מה אתה שם כוסות של ירושלמי? לא מקובל.
חצי מסכים.
אנחנו ירושלמים השתדלנו
לגבי
פה.
הנוקאוט פה. אני חושב שזה
נמצא בנקודות. זה נוקאוט סטייל צ'ק נוריס, בעיטה אחורית.
תקשיב, האף שלו זה משהו שלא הרחתי.
כן, רק תדברו עליו יותר, כי אין, אי אפשר להשיג.
מבחינת ייחודיות אין דברים כאלה.
בהתחלה אמרתי, מה זה הדבר הזה? זה אקונומיקה, בית מרקחת, ואחרי זה אתה חוזר אליו,
ואז מקבל פיט, ואז מקבל פאנקינס, ואז מקבל הכל. אין דברים כאלה.
אם היית בטעימה עיוורת, היו אומרים לי פה חבית שרי? אין סיכוי בעולם.
אין שום קשר בזה לשרי.
אין סיכוי בעולם.
נכון.
גל, אתה מדבר על הקליינליש?
מה זה?
אתה מדבר על הקליינליש?
לא,
על הבומור, על הבומור.
למה לא? למה לא שרי, אחי?
מבחינת ייחודיות
הוא מיוחד, ברור, הוא מדהים, הוא מיוחד, אבל הקליינליש, אני לא יודע, מבחינת איכות,
הקליינליש היה טעים לי יותר.
תקשיב, הרויאל
היה מדהים.
יקיר, נראה לי שאנחנו מסכימים סוף סוף. אני אומר, הקליינליש הוא מיוחד והוא חזק אגרסיבי, עם קצת מים הוא עשה הרבה יותר טוב, אבל אגב, הייתי בהחלט מנחש שזה שרי, כי זה כמו שיקיר אמר, זה בול כמו הבן רומח, רק קצת פחות עשן, וזה ממש מרגיש לי את אותו טעם בדיוק, וזה בהחלט שרי מעושן, וזה מטורף.
אז לא הבנת אותי, אנחנו עדיין לא מסכימים. אני אומר שאין ספק שהוא מיוחד, אבל לדעתי הקליינליש, אם הייתי צריך לקנות בקבוק, הייתי קונה בקבוק של קליינליש. הוא מיוחד, לטעום אותו זה היה חוויה ממש לא סטנדרטית, אבל אם אני עכשיו עומדים שניהם על המדף, אני קונה את הקליינליש.
אני מסכים איתו ב100%, אבל אני תכלס כאילו, כי אתם מכירים אותי, פשוט קונה את שניהם.
אני תקוע על השלישי כבר, על הרויאל ברקה, כאילו, אבל מזלי...
מבחינתי הוא מקום שלישי מובהק, כאילו אין פה...
תשמע, הקליינליש היה טעים, הרויאל ברקה היה טעים, אבל הקליינליש, כאילו, טעמתי קליינלישים אחרים בהרבה יותר טעימים, מצטער.
לא, בסדר, תשמע.
ואני אוהב את המשחקה הזאת, אני מאוד אוהב אותה.
לא יודע, אצלי הבומו נתן נוקאוט, פשוט.
לחלוטין. ברמה אחרת...
שוב פעם, אני מסכים איתך בקטע של הייחודיות, אין דבר כזה, זה באמת נוקאוט, אבל מבחינת טעם אני באמת כאילו מסכים עם יקיר פה בקטע הזה, אין ספק פה, זה משהו שהוא יכול לזרום, אתה יודע, בזמנים מסוימים, וכאילו אתה צריך להיות במוד מסוים, ואתה צריך להיות כאילו, זה וויסקי שהוא מורכב מאוד, ואתה צריך בשבילו מוד מסוים, אני לא חושב שהוא יתאים לך בכל זמן, אתה מבין, הקליינליש...
אני רק מסיבות נוסטלגיות, אני לא אסכים, יקיר.
אסף, אבל מבחינה של בקבוק מעניין שאתה רוצה לחזור אליו?
לחלוטין, בומור.
הבומור לוקח פה בעיניים עצובות, כאילו, באמת, כאילו, החוויה שלו, כאילו, וזה בקבוק שאני רוצה לחזור אליו.
בוא נחשוב רגע מבחינת הקבוצה. מה הקבוצה היית רוצה לראות? הקבוצה עכשיו הייתה תואמת 5 סמפלים, כאילו עכשיו בוא נסתכל על זה בצורה כאילו...
את שלושתם, רק תביא כסף לקבוצה הזאת, כי היא כבר עדייה.
בוא נחשוב עכשיו מבחינה פרקטית. עכשיו, הקבוצה הייתה מקבלת עכשיו את 5 הסמפלים האלה. אם הם היו צריכים לבחור חבית אחת שהם היו צריכים לבקבק בשביל הקבוצה, מה אתם חושבים שהם היו בוחרים?
בואו.
אני לא יודע מה הם חושבים, אני לא הייתי רוצה.
אני איתך גל.
בומור לחלוטין.
אני אומר ככה, הבומור הכי טעים, אבל הקליינליש הכי מיוחד. זאת אומרת...
לא יודע, מה היה מיוחד בקליינליש? באמת. מה היה מיוחד בקליינליש? כאילו, יש לי עוד 4 בקבוקים... לא, קליינליש טעים, אבל יש לי עוד 4-5 בקבוקים אחרים של קליינליש בבית, טעימים באותה רמה.
בדיוק, אני מסכים.
אז אני רוצה את הבומור, אבל לך תביא אותו עכשיו.
הוא אמר, רגע, שהוא לא...
לא, הוא אמר את הקליינליש שיש.
קליינליש יש לו סיסטר קאסק, אבל הבומור...
אבל הבומור הלוואי ואין לו סיסטר קאסק. אני נוסע לקחת אותה עכשיו.
אז זהו, כאילו, זה די מצאת עצמו, כי את הבומור אנחנו לא נשיג גם אם נרצה, כאילו.
שאל אותו, תעלה אותו, בטח הוא כבר בפיג'מה, הלך לישון, גמרנו עליו.
בטח, הבן אדם כבר לדעתי כבר במצב כפית כבר עם הכרית שלו.
תקשיב.
גם אנחנו.
טוב, בסדר, תלכו, ביי, לקרוא את הכל מזיג אתכם פה.
אלכס, אתה עוד שנייה נכנס לאוקשני, מה אתה מבלבל בשכל, באמת?
טוב, חברים, היה כיף לראות את כולכם.
גל, יש לי הרגשה
באמת היה ערב מדהים לחלוטין, ג'נס היה באמת אחלה גבר, ואני חושב שבאמת אני מקווה מאוד שאנחנו נצליח לעשות איתו כאילו, ועימי ואיזשהו משהו מיוחד לקבוצה. ואני מקווה ורוצה לעשות את זה הכי אינטראקטיבי שיהיה אפשר, זאת אומרת שכולכם תהיו חלק בזה, כמו שאתם שמים לב דרך אגב, זה בדיוק מה שעשינו בעניין של המיל קנני, דרך אגב. אנחנו רוצים שהחבית הבאה של מיל קנני, שהרי חביות של מיל קנני עכשיו עפות באוויר, כל שנייה מישהו זורק חבית. אתה מבין? אתם מבינים. ואני רוצה שבסופו של דבר הקבוצה תהיה זאתי שתחליט מה אנחנו נבקבק. שזה יהיה הכי אינטראקטיבי, ויהיה הכי בשיתוף שלכם, ושזה יהיה הכי ברמה כזאת שאתם תבואו ותגידו, וואלה, זאת אנחנו רוצים, וזה מה שיגיע אליכם.
אם יצא בקבוק של החוף הדרומי של זנזיבר, שדרגת את לקחת בקבוצות האזוריות את הרמה הראשונה לחלוטין, כאילו.
לא, יהיה, נדבר עם מי, וזה בקבוק של זה, הוא הסכים כבר.
הוא הסכים ל5, אבל רק שנייה, ובוא נראה מה התג מחיר.
הכל, תשמע, שוב פעם, אתה ראית, בקבוק של בומו 14, תקשיב גל, בקבוק של בומו 14 עלה 100 פאונד, אוקיי? אז בוא נסתכל על זה בצורה הזאת. אז זה יהיה 600 שקל או משהו כזה ככה, זה לא יהיה 600 שקל, זה לא יגיע ל600 שקל. עד שזה יגיע לארץ, בסדר, אבל זה לא יהיה 100 פאונד. בוא נגיד ככה, הוא לא ימכור לך 100 בקבוקים, 200 בקבוקים ב100 פאונד, אוקיי? זה יהיה מחיר שונה. בוא נחצה את הגשר שנגיע אליו, זה
היום הוא שולח את הרשימה, תבדוק במייל, לדעתי הוא כבר שלח.
כבר שם אתה אומר.
אני כבר רואה את אסף, גברתי.
לא, אני כבר רואה את אסף, חבר'ה, אני צריך לנסוע לגרמניה, אני רוצה נסיעה קבוצתית, תממנו לי בבקשה.
עכשיו אנחנו מדברים, זה לא גרמניה, אח שלי גיבור, זה לא גרמניה. יש מחשבות בראש כבר על הרבה דברים, שגרמניה לא אחד מהם, אבל נסיעה כן. בואו נשאיר את זה ככה. אבל זמן יגיד, זה לא זמן בואו עכשיו לנסיעות, או טיסות.
אתה לא אפוי. אתה יודע שהייתה פה הזקה עכשיו?
אני יודע, אבל אני בתל אביב.
הוא בתל אביב, מה אכפת לו?
כן. בקיצור, יש מחשבות על טיסה, בוא נגיד ככה.
בוא נגיד תקשיב, יש לי טיסה עוד שבוע, אני לא יודע אם נתב"ג יהיה פתוח, בוא נגדיר את זה ככה.
אז בוא נחכה קצת ונראה.
אם יהיה נתב"ג בכלל.
בקצב הזה כן, כאילו, באיראנים...
נו, טוב שאתם לא מוצאים דברים פתוח, שאלוהים אדירים.
התשובה זה רמון.
רמון.
אבל בוא נדבר תכלס, הגלנגיריך זה 520 שקלים לבקבוק, שזה די הביטוי האחרון של כולנו.
לא הבנתי, כאילו...
טומינטול מבחינת ביטוי אחרון.
הגלנגיריך?
הגלנגירי היה מספר 3, לדעתי.
1. לא, הגלנגירי היה מספר ראשון.
הוא היה מספר 1 בפעימה.
אוקיי.
ואצל רוב אנשים הוא היה או מספר 4 או מספר 5 בדירוג.
נכון, אני מתלבט, כן, או טומינטול או הגלנגירי.
והוא 520.
היו גירי הרבה יותר מוצלחים.
מה זה היו גירי הרבה יותר מוצלחים? אם אתה קורא לגיר, אז גירי זה העלבה לגירים המוצלחים. לא, תקשיב, מה?
אתה מסכים? תשמע, אני לא חושב שהיה פה איזשהו ביטוי לא טוב, שאתם יכולים לבוא ולהגיד וואלה, כאילו, לא נהניתי ממנו, לא אהבתי אותו, והוא לא היה עם איזה, אין ביטוי.
לא, הביטויים פה היו טובים.
זה שיקול שלך, אבל השאלה אם זה היה יותר מוצלח או פחות מוצלח, אז גלנגירי נראה לי היו הרבה יותר מוצלחים.
תמיד תוכל להגיד שטעמתי יותר טוב.
נכון.
אין פה...
אז מבחינתנו, לפחות מבחינתי,
אני חזרתי לברקלה, ואני איתך לגמרי. וואלה, הוא יותר טוב מהקלנליש. אפשר לי קצת בקוס בכוונה.
מה אתה אומר?
וואו.
נכון, הוא מתפתח מאוד יפה. אני טעמתי אותו עכשיו, הוא מתפתח מאוד מאוד יפה.
כן, חצי שותים מיד וחצי נשארים לסוף.
כן, זה הבעיה. בסיבוב הראשון אולי קלנליש, אבל בשני הברקלה לוקח.
כן, כן, וכואב לי להגיד את זה, כי אני סאקר של קליינליש, אבל כן.
לא, גם הקליינליש סבבה, אבל הבורמור פה לקח נראה לי.
לא, הבורמור זה ברור שהוא מספר 1, אני מתלבט בין 2 ל-3.
רגע, מה אמרת יקיר?
אמרתי שבסיבוב שני, אחרי שישרתי קצת בקוס, חזרתי לרויאל ברקלה, ואני חושב שהוא עבר את הקלנליש.
מה אתה אומר?
יאללה, אסף עכשיו לוקח את הדוגמית שנשארה לו.
לא, אני רוצה לקבל מג'נס 5, הוא חושב שזה זה, ואנחנו ננסה כאילו... אני לא יודע איך זה יכול להיות אינטראקטיבי, כאילו אני אנסה לראות אם הוא מצליח לשלוח לנו כמה סאמפלים כדי שנביא לכמה שיותר חברי קבוצה, ומשם אנחנו נתפתח הלאה לכיוון החבית הבאה שלנו.
תקשיב, אם אתה עושה את זה עם איב, זה לא יהיה בעיה, כאילו, הוא יבואן, הוא יכול להביא.
הוא יכול לדאוג לסאמפלים בשלב הראשון ואז חבית בשלב השני.
כן.
זה השאיפה, אז זה השאיפה.
אבל
אני לא רוצה שאני אשב ויבחר עם אלכס פה ותומר.
קודם כל אתה יכול. דבר שני, אם אתה רוצה, בוא נבקש מהם שהם יביאו בקבוק.
לא, קודם כל אני לא רוצה לשבת איתך בכלל.
בגלל זה ברחת לתל אביב, אנחנו מבינים, זה בסדר. כל מובן.
הייתה לו הזמנה פתוחה, זה דרג זה מן דרג זה. תקשיב, שיביא בקבוק או חצי בקבוק מכל דבר, סאמפל, דיוטי פיי, מה שנקרא.
נכון.
ונעשה ערב קבוצה עם החלטות.
סגור.
אתה יכול לעשות משהו אחר, לשלח 30 סמפלים, 30 הראשונים שזוכים, יאללה, עולים בזום מולו, מנתחים, נותנים דירוג בגוגל, בכל אחד מהקבצים של גוגל. מי הראשון שנבחר, עם כל עושים ממוצע, יאללה, זכית. ואז אתה עושה את הכל אונליין, אבל זה תהליך, כאילו, צריך להתחיל את זה עכשיו, להתחיל לשלוח.
יותר כיף לשבת, אבל איך תדע מתי נשב?
אני גם חושב שזה יהיה נחמד יותר באמת אם זה יהיה כאילו ב-face to face, אבל שוב פעם...
הלוואי.
זה אתה אומר למישהו, ה-30 הראשונים שמגיעים לך הביתה, יכולים להצטרף, זהו.
אז כרטיס טיסה לכולם?
מה הבעיה? ה-30 הראשונים שחומקים מטיל באשקלון נכנסים לדיל, הכי פשוט וקל, הנה, נגמר.
אלכס.
אני מירושלים אומר את זה.
נשלח לך דוגמית לסוללה.
אלכס, עוד שנייה קורא לך למילואים עוד פעם.
זה חופשי.
אני חנקתי היום בסוללה ניידת, אחי.
זה לא סוללה ניידת.
המילואים בסיטונאות.
המדים שלו כבר מכובסים.
אחי, מכובסים, תיקים מוכנים, הכל פיקס.
תקשיב, זה נראה כמו קייס לקוס. באמת.
מה יש לכם שם? פיצה? מה זה כבר? תראה, אני יושב פה עם שני תל אביבים שכאילו מרכזנים שאפילו לא דאגו לי לכוס מים בקושי, ואתה יושב שם עם פיצה, נוכל. פירים ובירה, מה אתה מחשב? אתה תדאג לי בפעם הבאה גם כיפול אין משנושים. מה קרה?
אני לא יודע אם... רגע, שנייה, חכה.
אסף, יש דרג ויש דרג, אתה מבין לבד כבר מה אתה.
אני כבר יודע. אלכס, זה בדיוק מה שאלכס חושב עליי.
הלו, תסתכלו את הקבוצה למעלה, שתיים, פתח שם שולחן שאני עוד שנייה מזיל ריר כל הזמן עליו.
ייקח אותו האלה.
הכלב אוכל את הפיצה לפניך, זה המצב.
גל, לדרג אין כזה כמות של שערות, אתה יודע.
מה זה, לא הבנתי?
לדרג אין כזה כמות של שערות. נוציא אותו רק,
רגע, אסף? אפשר?
הנה, אלכס התחיל עם הפורנו וויסקי.
מה זה?
נכון. אסף, זה מה שאתה רוצה, גם אני רוצה אחד כזה.
אבל יש לך אחד, ינודניק, יש לך כבר.
לא, אני רוצה אחד כזה עם לוגו.
עם לוגו. בוא אני אכתוב לך לוגו.
אני אשלח לך לוגו מדבקה, אחי, תדביק בבעיה.
אין שום בעיה.
מגנט, זה מגנט.
לא, אני רוצה חתימה ולוגו, אסף, תיקח את זה, תחתים אותו בבקשה, תחזיר.
אין בעיה, אלכס, אני בא לקחת את זה ממך, אני אדאג לך על חתימה ולוגו, זה ייקח קצת זמן, הבקבוק יישאר אצלי.
בסדר, תיקח את הקנים, מה אתה דואג?
טוב, בקיצור חברים, יש פה שתי תל אביבים שיש להם בעיה עם זה שאני יושב פה על זה ולא נותן להם תשומת לב. אז...
ממתי תל אביבים רוצים תשומת לב?
זהו, אני יודע, תל אביבים...
כאילו, זה דבר והיפוכו. אלה, היית אומר ירושלמים תשומת לב.
אלה תמיד יש להם רגשי נחיתות.
בדיוק, חיכיתי.
תנקה את הזקן שלך פה, נראה לי נתפס לך איזה משהו. גלן פאקרס 5 פה בזקן. תעשה ככה.
אסף, זה ההבדל, אסף, שכשאצלכם תהיה הזקה, אתם תיפגשו במדרגות, אתה מבין? תפגוש שכנים עם תחתונים.
או שכנות עם תחתונים.
אצלי יש ממד שלי גיבור. אצלי יש ממד, אל תדאג, הכל בסדר. טוב חברים, יאללה. מה אתה רוצה אלכס? רגע, אלכס חייב לדבר, שנייה. אלכס? לא רוצה לדבר, זהו, טוב, חברים, יאללה.
רגשי נחיתות של אשקלונים.
נו, כן, בסדר, אני נעלבתי, אני לא אדבר איתך יותר. יאללה, ביי.
אם זה תלוי בי, אז לא.
יאללה, לילה טוב, ביי, להתראות.
לילה מקסים, חברים. תודה רבה.